stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away, show us where we are. What makes the sun go to sleep every night, and what's it dreaming of? I wonder. How come the sky sometimes
Welcome to the Bees Business, or welcome back if you've been here before. If you're new around here, my name is Brittney, and one of my favorite ways to spend my time is exploring the state of Maine where I live with my family. The creation of the Bees Business about a year ago really intensified our desire to travel and explore the state that we live in. And now I vlog most of our family travel adventures. One reason that I take the time to do this is so that I can create memories that will last forever for my family to look back on whenever they'd like to. But another reason is because I love sharing these adventures with all of you as well. My main goal in sharing our adventures is to inspire you to explore too. Even if you can't travel far, I know there are amazing opportunities awaiting you in the state that you live in. You don't have to have a big budget to go on amazing adventures either. Some of our favorite family adventures have been those that have cost us nothing. And today's vlog is an example of just that. It's Open Lighthouse Day in Maine. Over the past year, I have developed quite the obsession with lighthouses. Unfortunately, we missed Open Lighthouse Day last year, but that made me even more determined to not repeat that this year. I have had the date and the details associated with Open Lighthouse Day in my planner for months now. Each of our 3 children had soccer games on the morning of Open Lighthouse Day, but I was determined that not even this was going to stop us from making it inside of at least one lighthouse on this day. And truly, by luck, and pretty much luck alone, we made it inside of 2 lighthouses. The first lighthouse that we were able to go inside of was Bug Light, or Portland Breakwater Light. The story of how we all ended up being able to go inside of this lighthouse together is a little bit of a comical one. Early on in the planning stage of this adventure, we resigned ourselves to the fact that we were not all going to be able to stay together to visit the lighthouses on this day. The timing of each of the kids' soccer games just was not going to allow us to go to everyone's soccer games plus make it to the lighthouses before they closed up for the day. So we went with the divide and conquer model, and I took our younger 2 children to their games while my husband took our older son to his. When our younger children's games were done, the 3 of us headed to Portland to get to some lighthouses. But as fate would have it, we did end up all back together before we went into a single lighthouse. There was good and bad to this. The good is that we were all together to make these wonderful memories, but the bad is that the reason that my husband and older son were able to make it in time to go into the very first lighthouse with us is because myself and my 2 younger children waited for almost 2 hours to go into Bug Light. It was quite the wait, but my children were wonderful and they busied themselves with the scenery and the nature that was near us. And Open Lighthouse Day only happens once a year in Maine, so it just felt like the wait was the only option we had. And I will say this, it was absolutely worth it. The gorgeous weather gave us the opportunity to really take in our surroundings, to enjoy watching kites flying in the nearby park, to see some waterfowl doing their thing and feeding, and to repeatedly fill our lungs with the purifying, salty air from the ocean. One of the really amazing things about Open Lighthouse Day is that not only do you have the opportunity to travel inside of the lighthouses, you also have the opportunity to glean some amazing information related to the lighthouses from volunteers associated with the lighthouses. You'll get to hear the Bug Light volunteer sharing this fact himself later on in the video, but something really fascinating that we learned about Bug Light is that it is the smallest lighthouse in the country. Bug Light is located along the southern side of the entrance to Portland's Inner Harbor. This lighthouse was designed to mark the end of a breakwater that was built in 1836 in response to popular demand. The breakwater was successful at keeping heavy swells and tides from damaging the wharfs and ships, but mariners protested that the unlit breakwater was more of a hazard than a harbor improvement, and so a lighthouse was placed at its outer end in 1855. Bug Light, as the Portland Breakwater Light is affectionately known, was originally an octagonal wooden tower equipped with a 6th order Fresnel lens that shone 25 feet above high water. Although the lighthouse was close to civilization, it was an unpleasant keeper assignment. The uneven surface was difficult to walk upon during the best conditions and was nearly impassable in icy conditions. During storms, waves and spray battered the lighthouse and drenched the keeper. An extension of the breakwater was completed in September of 1873. A new lighthouse structure was built using a Greek design dating from the 4th century BC. Completed in 1875, the 26-foot cast iron tower is slightly shorter than its predecessor. The Portland Breakwater Lighthouse was electrified in 1934 and then watched over by the keeper at Spring Point Ledge. It was deactivated in 1942 and placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1973. The South Portland Rotary Club and the Spring Point Ledge Light Trust subsequently refurbished the lighthouse and reactivated it as a private navigational aid in 2003. It abuts a small park, Bug Light Park, which serves as a unique vantage point from which to view Portland Harbor. Bug Light is a squat 26 feet tall. The light elevation is 25 feet.
A little bit scared of heights. Why does the rain always keep on pouring down when it's gray outside? It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. Ooh, I wonder. How come the trees get undressed?
The detail of the exterior and the interior, for that matter, of this lighthouse is exquisite.
Could it be to make the ground shine like gold until winter comes? Until winter comes. Until winter comes. It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. Stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away and show us where we are. It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. Ooh, I wonder.
Multiple forts are also visible from Bug Light.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
So this was constructed after a big storm in 1836. It was originally 1,000 feet by 10 feet, but they felt that wasn't big enough to do the job. So they went up another 1,000 feet. This shows the original lighthouse. It was built, it was wooden, and it was much smaller than this one. So they built that would come up here 4 times a day to keep things going. So they decided that. Now, there's another lighthouse over here called Spring Point. I don't.
That was a good ding.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Now that's supposed to.
All set, buddy? Stand right near the wall, okay?
Yeah, we're watching. We're watching. You don't want anyone falling down the hole.
Oh, no. What happened?
What happened?
I think you were first. I think you're the first person to vote. So this will be a flight. And so the lighthouse guy would have to come out 3 times a day and fix the wick and put oil in the lamp, and he had to clean the windows because they got oil falls. And then if there was some damn storms, you have to go out the hatch, clean the windows on the outside.
Where's the
Keep his house used to be located.
In the wall, okay.
like toward the water?
Well, it was mounted on the granite blocks.
Oh,
and
okay.
cantilevered.
In case you didn't catch it, the volunteer was saying that I'm likely the first person to lose my shoe while climbing to the top of Bug Light. This accident didn't harm anyone, and it gave us all a good chuckle, so I guess it was fine in the end.
This is the smallest lighthouse in the U.S.
Oh,
It's the only one in Maine open to kids like this.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Huh.
because it's small.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.
Located just a mere few miles from Bug Light is Spring Point Ledge Lighthouse. When we wrapped up our time at Bug Light, we realized that we had just a small window of time where maybe we were going to be able to sneak over to Spring Point Ledge Lighthouse and still make it inside of this lighthouse. So we hurried ourselves along and we made fast work of the breakwater that leads out to the lighthouse, just to be told that we couldn't go in. As we got to the end of the breakwater, and we reached the lighthouse, I thought, oh my goodness, we're going to make it. I hopped in line feeling relief, just to be told by the visitor who was at the very back of the line that she was given the task of telling anyone that came up behind her that she was the last one that could go in the lighthouse. And right or wrong, my very first response was, I'll beg. I clarified that I understood I didn't need to beg her, but that I would beg the volunteers who were working at the lighthouse. The thrill of having finally made it inside Bug Light, of Brandon and Eli being able to join us, of having waited for almost 2 hours, and the fact that Open Lighthouse Day only happens once a year, all combined to just make me desperate to find any way possible to make it inside of this lighthouse. Some kind of unspoken connection occurred between this woman and I, and she quietly gestured for me to get in front of her. She was wearing a bright green shirt, and she said, "The woman has made eyes on me and knows that I am the last person in line because of my bright green shirt, so if you sneak in front of me, I don't think she'll notice." It was about at this time that we also made the discovery that unfortunately Collin was not going to be able to go into this lighthouse with us because he is too short, so Brandon made a very kind decision to stay with Collin so that I could be the one to go into the lighthouse, knowing that while he does enjoy this as well, I am the one that is absolutely infatuated with lighthouses. So Eli, Charlie, and I were lucky enough to make it inside of this lighthouse too.
Just think, 1897, there was just water all around us.
What do you think, guys? I think I know.
What?
What is that hole used for?
For drainage, yeah. It was also,
The bathroom?
you got it. It just, things went right out into the ocean. And now we're doing a little better job. We try and say, no, we shouldn't have, waste going into the ocean. Seconds. The horn goes about every 14, I believe. But this lighthouse has a different flash sequence. It's actually 6 seconds. So
Read the keepers for us. I want them to pull some weight out. Not too bad. Yeah, that's just a mattress on there. Let's put wood there to show what it would look like. And that's all this is the kitchen for the lighthouse. This is where the 2 crew members that were stationed here would come to prepare their meals and eat their supper. As may have been mentioned to you, there were 2 crew members here. It's called the Stag Lighthouse, because the only males assigned here. For cooking, for drinking, they probably shouldn't have been drinking water right out of the cistern without boiling it first, because I've seen accounts where all kinds of nasty creatures lived in lighthouse cisterns and died there, so they had animals and rats and things, so you wouldn't want to drink the water unless you treated it first or boiled it first. They were in their beds, or they were out staffing the light at the top of the lighthouse. Outside of the front of us, inside this column is a cable that runs from the top of the lighthouse down to this column, all the way to the basement. Attached then is 800 pounds in weight. And so they would wind that weight up to the top of the lighthouse, release it, and gravitationally slowly, the mechanism would drop down. And it was pre-programmed, if you will, not by computers, but by mechanical stuff. That at certain designated points, when the cable passed by, it would cause an arm to strike out at the bell on the outside of the platform at the top of the lighthouse. That's how the bell striking happened when it was foggy out and when it was signal to the lighthouse being here. So nobody had to go up there and sit there and bang a bell every couple of seconds. The mechanism took care of that. It was marketed as a 10,000 strike mechanism.
Yeah. It looks so different.
When you see the assistant keeper's quarters, is that this one is nicer area. Another assistant keeper is storage. Well, they each have a little cabinet. So you can imagine getting take them into Portland, sell them for 75 cents each at a sporting goods store. Give them away to France and stuff like that. Little But this is probably a good indication of what we would like to
I got chatting with the very kind woman who made this portion of the video possible, and I learned that we have some similarities, and I think this is where that initial unspoken connection came from. She is an educator like myself. She's a middle school principal. Her family loves lighthouses, and they had come from Massachusetts and had to hurry to get to the lighthouses before they closed because they too had soccer games this morning.
Perspective, go up and down. You see how it changes, the brightness, if you go up and down. That's what Fresnel was trying to do, capture all the light and send it on a particular point. And the technology is such that so really efficient accurate light. There's some other stuff here on the display that shows the lighthouse over the years. Like we talked about at one point, it was not connected. Base of the lighthouse that protect against the ice flows of the tide. The lighthouse wasn't originally white, it was red and brown because that was the cheapest paint at the time. So I allowed
The volunteers who participate in Open Lighthouse Day possess so much amazing knowledge about these beautiful structures. I wish we could have packed in even more time with them to hear all of the information that they had to share, but I'm thankful for the time that we did get. Spring Point Ledge Lighthouse was constructed in 1897 by the government after several steamship companies stated that many of their vessels ran aground on Spring Point Ledge. Congress initially allocated $20,000 to its construction, although the total cost of the tower ended up being $45,000 due to problems with storms and poor quality cement. The lighthouse featured a fog bell that sounded twice every 12 seconds and a lantern fitted with a 5th order Fresnel lens first lit by keeper William A. Lane on May 24, 1897. Improvements were made to the lighthouse throughout the 20th century. It was electrified in 1934, and in 1951 a 900-foot breakwater made from 50,000 tons of granite was constructed in order to connect the lighthouse to the mainland. The lighthouse was originally owned and operated by the U.S. Coast Guard. On April 28, 1998, the Maine Light Selection Committee approved a transfer of ownership of the tower to the Spring Point Ledge Light Trust, with the USCG retaining only the light and fog signal. On May 22nd, 1999, Spring Point Ledge Light was opened to the public for the first time in its history. It was added to the National Register of Historic Places as Spring Point Ledge Light Station on January 21st, 1988.
Massachusetts.
I've seen that area.
That's close to
Social media.
it's near.
Oh, what's nice? Can you give it a hit?
I do want to get that.
I'm gonna go again.
Go for it, Charlie. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Adjacent to the lighthouse, visitors may also tour the old Fort Preble, the Southern Maine Community College campus, and visit a small gift shop. The lighthouse's tower is 25 feet tall. The light elevation is 54 feet. The original lens was a 5th order Fresnel lens. The current lens is a 300mm Lexan, and its fog signal is a horn once every 10 seconds. As you heard earlier, this is a really interesting fact about lighthouses. Kind of the way that we each have our own thumbprint, lighthouses each have their own signal. And the purpose behind this is so those who are out at sea and are using these as navigational aids would know the difference between which lighthouse they were near if things were foggy and visibility was not great.
Bathroom.
Dreaming of you, dreaming of you.
Yep, go down with the ladder and be safe.
Bug Light was amazing, but if I had this day to do over again, I would have gone to Spring Point Ledge Light first to guarantee that we made it inside of this lighthouse, because this one is just a little more grand. With so many different levels, this lighthouse is jam-packed with history. On this day, we did also learn that during the summer months, Spring Point Ledge Lighthouse does open on other days besides just Open Lighthouse Day. So if you're looking to visit this lighthouse, it's a little more possible than I initially thought. This day was a little bit wild and crazy, but it worked out just the way it was supposed to, and we made some wonderful memories. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!